going on? Be your own bank family, BYOB. This is Tasha M. Dyer, the Trade Whisperer. And I am actually excited to be here with each and every last one of you all. But I'm even more excited because today here we are with a new format, a new venue, a new stream where we are here with the Millennial Wealth Connector. We're talking about Miss Leesia Monay. See, I know some of you all said money, but I want you to understand that that's really what it means. So it's Miss Leesia Monay. Now she is a millennial. She is speaking. We're talking about a TV personality, someone of influence, someone who is a connector, and someone can speak to each and every last one of you all, the millennial family. So I'm just excited because she's having tremendous impact within the Be Your Own Bank movement. She's literally positioned herself to be in the top 1% of money earners, and she eliminates any excuse that gets in her way of success. So I'm excited, and I'm actually going to turn this over as we present the very first episode coming to you every Friday at noon, Miss Leesia Monay with Bridging the Gap. Miss Monay, are you there?
And thank you so much. And I'm so excited about this segment, about the shifts that are going to happen, about the impact that is going on. And also want to thank you because you're a pretty good coach. You know, you've helped me with a lot of things and helped shifting my mindset. So it's a seed you've sown also. So I do want to honor that and acknowledge that, and I appreciate it. But I'm just excited about what we're going to do and what the intent is for this segment. Like I said, we're bridging the gap. And when we bridge the gap, that means there's a space that's empty, right? That's what the gap is. Basically, I'm like braces. I'm the brace. I'm pulling it together so that we can meet on a common ground and we can all grow together. So, you know, in this, there is a topic that was really on my heart that I think will be very important to start this off. And I want to speak about the battles that millennials face. Now, I know there are power in our words, but I want to speak about the things that we go through daily, the things we've gone through when we were growing up, the shifts, the economic shifts, the changes in life. I want to speak about that. And, I think it's very important and vital to where we're going and who we're going to become. And I think it also shed a light to those who don't understand or have never really sat back and realized what a millennial is and what we have the power to do, how we are generational shifters, how we can change our legacy and enhance it. So one of the things I wanted to focus on, and if you have any questions, anything, Ms. Dyer, tap in, jump in, because I love to answer questions too, is the things that a lot of millennials have going on right now is a lot of student debt. Definitely debt. We have really disrespectful rental rates on cars, on properties, housing, apartments. The rates are just astronomical. Even some of our parents are back working, and that is very important for those who love their parents. We don't want to see our parents working, and so we do a little more to make sure that we take care of our family. Not saying the previous generation didn't, but a lot of our parents are getting out of retirement and going back to the workforce, and that does affect us. As well as we have went through a recession and a pandemic, but we are tag teaming things. And I don't like this type of tag team, but that's what we're doing. And most of us do have degrees that we are not utilizing and we're not getting paid for, or we're not working in our field. So those are those are not all, but some major impacts on how we're at the mindset that we're at, why we're at the mindset we're at, and why we're going through some of the things that we're going through. But I do want to tell us, we millennials, and of course everyone included, is there is a way to fix this. There is a way. It's not just the 360. There is a shining light. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it is in education. I will say this. How it's going to be fixed is making the right choices and making right money choices. That really shifts some things. The choices in money and learning about it. And there are 4 major ways that I want to speak about. I want to go over. One of those ways is becoming financially literate. Very important. Financial literacy, embracing investing, learning money-making skill sets, and in setting financial goals. So before I go any further, Ms. Dyer, you have any questions?
No, keep going. But even as far as questions, I'm excited. I have my pen and my paper ready too. Still, we have individuals here that are in the chat. We're streaming. So if you have any questions as she's doing this, drop it in there. We'll get your questions answered as well.
Okay, so, and I do have some notes because I can't come everything off the top of my head, but that's pretty cool. But I just want to start off by a study. Now, this study was in 2015, but usually studies are done, biannually, multiple times out of every quarters of years, so on and so forth. But this one was 2015, that Capital One, the bank Capital One founded, and they found that 93, I want you to listen to the number, 93% of millennials are weary, are uncertain, are distrustful about investing and embracing it. That speaks volumes that we don't know what to do and we don't believe in it so much. We know it might work, but we're unsure. And the reason being is there is a distrust in the market, which is basically lack of education, to be honest, and the lack of basic knowledge of the market. So really, it's all in education. One of the top reasons that people don't invest, especially millennials, is because it's scary, and we're looking at how fast can we get our money back. We're looking at the rate of return, and a lot of times, if we don't think we're going to get it back fast, a lot of us are not going to make that choice, even if we know that it will make our life better. We'll hold back and keep the dollar in our hand because, hey, baby has to eat. I'm unsure. It didn't work for someone else, so I'm uncertain. Why would I do it if I don't know I'm going to get that back and more? So, it's all about risk. We're scared to take risk. But then I want to tell you, we're really not, because we take risk every day. We go to McDonald's. I don't eat at McDonald's, but we go to McDonald's, Taco Bell. We go to all of these eatery places, and we go buy different designer clothes, whether they're well-known name brands or even Walmart brands. You're investing in that. That's a risk. You're investing in someone else's property. You're investing in someone else's business and someone else's service. You're using a product. You're investing, and that is a risk but the thing is, we only invest because we usually know what we're going to get right out of it. So I wanted to tap on that real quick. But I want to say one major thing. One reason that we're scared to invest and embrace investing in skill sets and taking those leaps is because we're not taught that we're going to be missing out on opportunities for building wealth. A lot of us aren't taught that. Myself, I never was taught that about wealth building. I knew about money. I know if you have a lot of money, you can buy a lot of things and a lot of doors can open. But I wasn't taught that if you don't learn how to make money work for you, if you don't learn how to manage money, if you don't understand money, you're really missing out and you're really kicking yourself in the bottom. Say it like that. You're really kicking yourself in the bottom, and we're not taught that. So I really want to share that. And I want to touch on people of color. So, there's another study that shows, and this is just in reference to stocks, but this is just a term of investment, is 55% of people of color, I'm speaking about African Americans, own stocks. So I want you to really look at that number, because that means almost half of us are missing out. Half of us is getting the big picture, but there's too many of us that's missing out. And that all boils down into no one's teaching or no one's embracing that when you don't learn how to invest, when you don't learn how to invest in skill sets, when you don't know how to invest in mentorship, when you don't learn how to understand money, that you're missing out. And that's 45% of moms. That's a dad. That's a father, a sister, a brother, an uncle. That's someone working in the grocery store. That's someone at McDonald's. That's someone in retail. That's a waiter. That's a hostess that's missing out on an opportunity to sow into their family. So I think that number really shows some really major things. And actually, I want your opinion on that, Ms. Dyer. How do you feel about knowing that 55% of people are missing, 45% are missing out on wealth?
I'm actually shocked that that's what that number is, to be honest with you. I felt like it was higher than that because when you look at the wealth gap, we might be dabbling in it, but a lot of people do it from a non-educational standpoint. And for us as a community, what's happening is the wealth is actually dwindling away, like it's going away, it's decreasing. And so it's actually projected that our actual wealth will be at zero, right? I can't remember the year exactly, but in about 15 to 20 years, for our community, the wealth will be at zero. And so that is because of exactly what you're saying, where we're not educated. And that is why this is so very important. So it's very heartbreaking, right? It's very heartbreaking that, we and something has to give, like we have to make a shift. We have to make a change. And so that's why, that's really what this platform is all about. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So to me, you ask how do I feel about it? It's heartbreaking, but I can't live in that emotion. We have to live in the emotion of let's empower. What are we going to do? Because when we start empowering people, empowered people empower people. And so that's the only way it's going to change. The only way it's going to change is not dwelling on what someone else is doing wrong or what, why they have and we don't. The reality is just what's going to change it is when we start focus on what can we do in order to make that shift and get proactive about making it happen.
And I definitely agree. And what I've noticed is, well, just how you stated that that our worth, or you were speaking about the net worth or the wealth gap. Excuse me.
Our actual wealth.
That the wealth gap is dwindling down, is declining. The thing is, people hear that, and I've mentioned that to people before, and they go, well, no, that's not true. I have money. Wealth is how long you're keeping that money. Wealth is that duration. Wealth is that what's going to be passed to your children's children. People focus on that right now money. That's not wealth. That's just how much money you have right now. And really, wealth is really measured after it's what you have as assets and not liabilities. Because people, I have money and I have a job and I pay my bills. That's fine. But let me ask you, and let's be real. Most of us that have it, are you renting the car? Are you leasing the car? If you're leasing the car, it's not yours. That's a liability. Are you leasing your house? Are you renting an apartment? It's not yours. That's a liability. That's money going out, not money coming in. And we have to reverse that. We have to really shift that mindset because yes, we're doing the best that we can. But if we're giving out more than what's coming in, our value will never increase the way it will, or it'll take it'll take a super long time. I don't even know if that's really like proper or grammatically right, but it'll take a very long time for you to try to get where you're trying to get to. Because if it's going out, a lot of times how people say, I pay my bills, everything's taken out, and then you don't have anything. You're saying, thank God, yes, the bills are paid. But then what happens after the bills are paid? If you're still in the same circle, that means that you need to do something different. And that's why we need to invest in skill sets to make money work for us so that we will have continual money and be able, if we want to go on a trip, or we want to send our child on a field trip, or if we want to sow into someone's life, or if we want to give to a charity without taking and ripping something financially out of our pockets, then it's learning how to make money work for us and investing in those things that are going to help us and our families. Because listen, what I do for me, and my children get the benefit of it. But the reality is, if I don't get right, they're not going to get that benefit. And I really think our mindsets have to shift off of that. But yes, in reference to that, I just think I'm glad that you brought up the wealth gap, because people really need to understand the gap is too big. The gap should be closing. It shouldn't be expanding. So there's a lot of things that we can do to fix that and come against it. But it really takes being intentional of what type of lifestyle do you want? You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to be rich, but you do have to make sure your bills are paid. And I know no one wants to live paycheck to paycheck and be scared to look in their bank account and do the little wink and hope that that money's in there, or hope that your car doesn't decline. I've done it before. I don't know if you have, but I've definitely done that before. That little, I hope it goes through. You done that, Ms. Dyer?
You forgot where I come from. You forget where I come from. I mean, yes, we're not about that life. We don't want to be about that life. We're about the wealthy and healthy life. That's what we focused on. You
That's
know
what I
what?
love.
Speaking of what you just mentioned, about that life, one thing that we want to do is that changing those generational gaps, like changing those generational things, because yes, that is my past. Yes, if I come from a household where my mother was terminally ill. So trust me, I understand wondering what's for dinner, much less wiping a card. But when you have now, when you start paying it forward, and my daughter, at 6, has absolutely no comprehension of what it's like to go without, because even before she left for the summer, one of the conversations that we were having is somebody couldn't do something and we were talking about it and she didn't understand, and while I was like, wait, am I sheltering you that much that you don't understand? But then at the same time, that's not her life. And so this is where that shift has to happen. And I have a granddaughter that speaks to being wealthy and healthy. And so this is where that shift. And if yes, we come from that, but we don't want our generations to come from that. And so when I look at it, and my older children have heard me say, no, we don't have, I can't do, when they were younger. But for my now daughter and granddaughter to be in a position to where they're like, well, I don't understand. What does it mean that you can't do something you want to do? So that's, to me, that's saying that this legacy, my last name, is shifting, is changing to where they have higher expectations, to where things are going to be different for them and their legacy, their children, because they have expectations of having. So I think that's really important.
Ooh, I love that. Expectations of having. I've always had when I was younger, so I've never not had, and so maybe that's one of the things that was imprinted in me. There's been some things I have went through as well. I have went without, but when you have been exposed to, and I think that's one of the things that makes me so hungry for what I do now, is because I've experienced I can get what I want when I want to. I used to go on field trips and be the only kid with $500 in my pocket on field trips while everyone else had $30. And I didn't think I was better. That was just, that's normal to me. So that's great. That mindset that we have doesn't make you greedy, doesn't make you, I won't even say sheltered, but you've been exposed to something that I feel that we should all be exposed to, your baby girl and your granddaughter, that I don't have to go walk in lack. That just speaks so, there's so many volumes. That's so biblical. That is so biblical to me, to know that your kids, your daughter, your family now, lineage, can walk with their head held high and not have to worry about, I can't afford it. And then also be able to sow a seed and a word or show someone else because of what you have done as a parent. So that speaks volume. That's why we need to come together and kumbaya and get together and really, really grasp that we need to be the shift that we are the shift that our family needs, and right now, not tomorrow, not next week, is the time for that shift to be implemented, and that we can do it. There's people who are out here to support you. There's people who are out here to, when you want to break down, there's people helping you in this process where you shifting, because shifting is not always fun. It is not always easy, but it is worth it. I'm not even gonna say it's hard, but it's worth it. So, in reference to this, that is what I have to say. I'm excited. I'm ready for people to jump on and join us in this movement, because when I say BYOB, millennials owning banks, us millennials taking these shifts, us breaking generational curses and walking in our destiny, in our calling, and in our purpose, it is the time for us to do it now. And it's the time for you to get with like-minded people who see further, who see the more, the better, and different, and link up with us, so we can come together and we can reach who was unreachable before, because we changed our mind. I feel like I just preached. I need to pass the collection plate.
You did. So I'm excited. This is actually going to be here every Friday at noon. And for those of you all looking to be a part of the movement, looking to get more information, and even just to connect with Miss Leesia Monay, because what she's doing is bridging the gap and here to educate and empower our millennials. So make sure you text 904. Let me give you the number. 904-567-0634. Let me repeat that phone number for you. That is 904-567-0634. And what you want to text to that number in the text message is Mob Squad. Now that Mob stands for Millennials Owning Banks. So text Mob Squad and go ahead and pour in, tune in, log in, get connected so your life and the legacies can be changed. All right, any closing words for this Friday, Mrs. Leesia Monay?
We got this. I would say you can have, be, and do anything. And that's it. That's it.